Most people think you need to own property to make money on Airbnb. But right now, across the United States, thousands of Americans are quietly building five-figure monthly income streams without owning a single home. No mortgage, no massive down payment, no real estate license. Just strategy. And the crazy part is, many of them are starting with less than what you'd need to buy a used car. So how exactly are they doing this, and why isn't everyone talking about it? It all comes down to a model called rental arbitrage, and it's changing how people think about real estate income. Instead of buying a property, you rent it long-term from a landlord, then legally list it on Airbnb as a short-term rental. The difference between what you pay in rent and what you earn from guests becomes your profit. For example, if you rent an apartment for $1,500 a month and generate $3,000 from Airbnb bookings, after expenses, you're keeping the spread. And because you're not tied to a mortgage or property taxes, your upfront cost stays relatively low compared to traditional real estate investing. But here's where most beginners get it wrong. This only works if you treat it like a business, not a side hustle you casually manage from your phone. Successful operators in the U.S. market are obsessing over location data, occupancy rates, and pricing strategies. They're using tools to analyze which neighborhoods have consistent demand, whether from business travelers, tourists, or remote workers. Cities with strong year-round traffic and flexible short-term rental regulations tend to perform best, while ignoring local laws can get you shut down quickly. This is where understanding regulations, permits, and even how the IRS treats short-term rental income becomes critical, because your profits are taxable and must be reported correctly. Another key piece is landlord permission. The idea that people are secretly listing apartments behind their landlord's back is a fast way to get evicted. The real players are negotiating up front, sometimes even offering higher rent or profit-sharing deals to get approval. In many cases, landlords actually prefer this model because the property is professionally managed, cleaned regularly, and often maintained better than traditional rentals. It becomes a win-win if structured correctly. Then comes the setup phase, which is where the real differentiation happens. People who succeed don't just throw in a bed and hope for bookings. They design the space for conversions, almost like building a product. High-quality photos, modern furniture, fast Wi-Fi, and small touches like coffee stations or smart locks dramatically increase nightly rates and occupancy. Think of it like running a hotel room inside someone else's property, where guest experience directly translates into revenue through reviews and repeat bookings. What's even more interesting is how some Americans are scaling this into full businesses. They start with one unit, reinvest profits, and expand to multiple listings across different cities. At that point, it stops being a hustle and becomes a system. Some are even building LLCs to manage liability and take advantage of tax deductions on expenses like furniture, utilities, and management tools. Others outsource cleaning and guest communication, turning it into a semi-passive income stream that runs with minimal daily involvement. Of course, it's not risk-free. Vacancy periods, unexpected damages, changing regulations, and platform competition can all impact income. And just like with any investment, there's no guaranteed return. But compared to traditional real estate, the barrier to entry is significantly lower, which is why so many people are exploring it right now. It sits right at the intersection of the gig economy and real estate, giving everyday Americans a way to participate in property income without actually owning property. At the end of the day, this strategy isn't about gaming the system, it's about understanding leverage. Instead of using hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy assets, you're leveraging contracts, market demand, and operational efficiency to generate income. And in a time where rising home prices are locking many people out of ownership, this model is giving a new path into the world of real estate cash flow. The question isn't whether this works, because clearly it does. The real question is whether you're willing to learn the system, follow the rules, and treat it like a real business instead of just another internet trend.